Bam ba bam 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 ba bam 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 ba 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 bam bam ba bam bam. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Scrappy, and I'm back with another tutorial video. This one's going to be regarding how to drop a 4K in Season 18 of Apex Legends. Without further ado, let's get it. You know, I've made a video like this before, and it did pretty damn well. And people are always asking me when it comes to new seasons that are released, yo, Scrappy, how do I drop a 4K this season? It all essentially is the same every season. But to entertain you guys a little bit, I figured I'd make a video for you guys. Because at the end of the day, the more videos that you watch, the more material that you'll be able to study, and the more information that you'll have to retain in your brain. So when it comes time for you to drop a 4K, you'll have more information in your mind as to exactly how to go about that. So I'll go over some tips to show you guys what you have to do to drop 4,000 damage in this game so you guys can get that 4K damage badge. The main point being for this video is you don't have to win the game. Just get the 4,000 damage. You'll see exactly what I mean here, okay? The video quality is not going to be the greatest. I apologize for that. I didn't save it on my NVIDIA, so I had to download it for my Twitch VOD. You see that I'm playing pubs here. Solo queue, 3 stacking. Doesn't really matter. Duo queuing is easier, but I've been enjoying this game mode a lot, so I've decided to play, trios. Solo queuing trios in this regard with this game mode. You see, I'm going to land hot. Maybe for you guys, I'm going to pause it really quick. Maybe for you guys, landing this hot is going to be a little bit too overwhelming for you guys. So maybe landing at some satellite building close to where all the chaos is going to occur. That might be a little better for you. So landing at a building over here or over there. Maybe not this construction building because that's also heavily contested, but somewhere else other than where all the chaos is going to ensue. That way you can loot up peacefully, get the weapons that you need, and then attack all that chaos as a third party. Doing damage from afar is the biggest tip that I can give you guys as well. And you'll see what I mean about that towards the later end of this video. I land hot because I have a lot of practice in this building, and if you have a lot of practice in this building, then I recommend that you do that as well. Because the one thing that matters the most when it comes to dropping high damage or high kill games is to put yourself in a position where you can find a lot of people. And that oftentimes is going to be in a POI like this. And you'll actually see me struggle a little bit here too. My teammates were Watson and Caustic. You really can't depend on your random teammates, especially when you're trying to go for badges such as the 4K. You kind of just have to play your own life. But my teammates landed with me, which I'm very grateful for. But we have a Caustic and Watson, and they're not throwing down traps or their fences this entire time. And you'll see how difficult that could be. Even though I'm landing in a contested area, heavily contested that is, I'm landing in a position of this heavily contested area that's rather uncontested. Notice how nobody else dropped on the second floor with me. So I'm able to loot the guns that I need to get so that I can do damage and do it safely without having to fight for these weapons with everybody else. So I land on the second floor all the time for that reason, because it's the least contested floor of this building. You don't believe me? Try it. So you get some damage right there. Again, I'm going for a high damage game this game. I'm not looking for kills, although obviously you're going to have to get some kills in order to get some damage. But that's the beauty about a 4K damage. You don't need kills and you don't need the win. You just need to do damage. However you can do that is however you can do that. I drop on this guy because I had already cracked him pretty much, but then he armor swapped and I see that. So I'm a little bit wary of that, and then I do the finishing damage on him to get that knock. On the first floor, I have 362 damage. You'll see me knock this guy, but I get knocked in return. And of course, you'll see my expressions. I don't have my camera up right now for this commentary, so you're watching the camera, the live camera that I had on my Twitch VOD. So maybe that's a little funny for you guys. But right now, I have 462 damage. Really, I'm still in a good position to get this 4K. There's still 18 squads alive. Only 15, 16 people have died. But that number is going to drastically decrease, within the next couple of minutes. My teammates are outside of the building. I'm just begging for a revive at this point. I want to show this part though, although I don't have a lot of damage potential right now as I'm knocked. I want to show you that I struggle sometimes too, and I get knocked as well. So instead of leaving the game every single time, maybe it would behoove you to stay in that game, because you never know what's going to happen. I end up getting a 4,000 damage this game, and you'll see how struggle You'll see how much we were struggling this entire game. So maybe just hang around a little bit, give your randoms a couple seconds to see if they can revive you or not. And if not, you can't help them. But my teammates were able to revive me. One of them actually recognized who I was. So typically when I play with people that know who I am or have heard of who I am, they tend to play well as a team together because they're trying to do their best for me, which I could always appreciate. That's why I don't no-fill. I like interacting with my supporters in my community. So we get another knock right here. The one thing I haven't done yet that I recommend for you guys is to always get those thirsts, which is why you see me doing that right there. That's an extra 100 damage every time. I can't stress you how much, even if you didn't get that kill, thirst them. If you see anybody on the ground that's not thirsted, thirst them. You're going to see me struggle on the zip lines here. I'm not on 7.6 Classic anymore, so my movement really does suck now. They used to call me Mexacy back in the day, the Mexican ecstasy, but I wasn't able to do that anymore because my sends is so slow. But you see that Bloodhound, how much damage I got off the Bloodhound? And then somebody else knocked him. So I shoot him for an extra 80 while he's knocked on the ground. I still didn't finish him thirst-wise, but I still get that extra 80 damage. And then I'm able to get that knock right here, but two people swing me, so I have to jump away towards my Classic teammates' gas and then try to heal up here. You see I almost have 1,000 damage now with only 3 kills. I haven't really done that much, but I'm still dishing out damage anytime I can, whether it's a person that's knocked on the ground, whether it's a person that's challenging me, you name it. I'm just shooting my weapon. And notice how much I'm rotating around this building. I'm never staying in one place for too long. This isn't a tip video on how to play ranked or play pubs or play the game in general, but there are some things to notice. And notice how I'm always moving. That can help you, with your positioning, always giving you the upper hand in these fights, which will give you the best position and advantage to do massive amounts of damage without taking damage in return, if that makes sense. So we did 100 plus on that Pathfinder right here. Here's the Bloodhound, do 100 damn near on him. And then here's a Mirage, and I'm just shooting. There's not much I could do here, especially with all of them on me like that. I go back here and I brace it out to try to escape and keep myself alive longer. And again, this is why I always recommend, if you're going to try to get a 4K, you can get it with whoever. I dropped a 4K with every single legend. It's very possible. But if you're struggling with dropping a 4K with, like, let's say Rampart or something, maybe try a movement legend. Because a lot of the times when you're solo queuing in pubs trying to drop that 4K damage badge, you're going to be in a position where you're solo against several teams. And in order to do that effectively, you might need a little movement to help you out. As you can see, I brace it away from that Bloodhound, give myself that position again, that upper hand, get the knock on the Pathfinder right here. You'll see that it actually gets pretty hectic right here in this 1v3. Wasn't able to get my teammates' banners, unfortunately. I'm so down bad with loot. I think I do grab one of them, though. We'll see. Again, it's not a tip video for that, so disregard what I'm saying. So the Mirage immediately revives. I don't want to overstay my stay right there because he got the revive off, but I was able to do a lot of damage onto that Mirage. The Pathfinder challenged me, who had no health because he just got revived, so I was able to knock him. And then I swing down and knock the Bloodhound. So now it's just a 1v1 against me and the Mirage. He's reviving right now. And so I'm swinging this angle so I can try to get him knocked again. You see how much damage I just did right there? I think that was close to probably 500 plus damage on one team alone. I'm not even intentionally trying to farm them. We'll get into what farming means at the end of this video. I'm not even trying to intentionally farm this team. I'm just trying to win this fight so I could survive and drop the 4K later in the game. So I'm not overcommitting to anything right there. I'm just doing damage from a decent range, always utilizing cover so that I could fall back to cover if I do get fried, and always putting some sort of damage into the enemy. I couldn't thirst anybody right there realistically because they were all up on my nuts. But you see how much damage. Let's see real quick how much I was able to do. I ended with 1727. This fight started and I had about 1,000 damage on this team. Yeah. So I dropped almost 700 damage on one team. And people always, over the years that I've been doing this, people love to make excuses, right? And excuses are like buttholes. Everybody has them and they stink. I'm sure you guys have heard of that one before. It's funny, but, it's true too. Everybody always says that, I can't drop a 4K because I'm just not lucky enough, or I can never find anybody I can never find enough people to drop that 4K. Look how I just dropped almost a fourth of my damage on one team alone. And again, I was not intentionally trying to farm that team at all. That was just me trying to kill them. On the converse, if you are trying to intentionally farm a team, as you can see at the end of the game, you could easily drop 1 to 2,000 damage on that team at the end of the game to help get you that 4K damage badge, or a 3K or a 2K. What you guys have to start getting better at is your long distance range, your long distance damage output. You see how I almost cracked that guy with a 1 times from afar. It's very hard to see. To be honest, I can't see anything. My eyes are getting bad, I guess. But I was able to do 150 or so damage right there to 2 people that aren't even worried about me or looking or thinking about me. I'm just doing damage from afar, seeing what I can do, and then I push the gap, or excuse me, close the gap when I have the opportunity to do so. But look how patient I am. I have almost 2,000 damage. There are 5 squads left. Most people would be like, this game's over. I can't drop a 4K. Yes, you will see what I mean when it comes to the importance of farming damage. If you're trying to drop your first ever 4K and you've never been able to do so, I don't have to farm damage intentionally to drop 4Ks. They can naturally happen to me because I'm super aggressive, and that may be something that you guys have to work on. But if you have never dropped one and you could say to yourself that you've genuinely tried your hardest, then you might have to start farming. And you'll see what I mean by the end of at the end of the video. So I get a knock here. Again, that's an extra couple hundred damage. I'm going for the thirst because I have the opportunity to do so. That's extra 100 damage every time. You see how simple it is when you break things down step by step. That's I think, in my opinion, the appropriate way to go about many things is to simplify it. Break it down step by step, as opposed to just thinking big picture every single time. If you have a goal, create a plan of action on how to get that goal. And hopefully with this video, by me breaking it down, I can help set up that plan of action so that when you guys are playing the game next, trying to drop your first 4K damage badge, you'll have things to remember. You have simple steps to follow so that you can get that end goal, which is that 4K badge. So I get a nice little 1v3 right here. And just like that, I went from 1,700 damage to 2,600 damage, almost 1,000 damage in a minute or so. As soon as I pushed this building right here, and you'll see another lifeline push me. I believe it's a lifeline, yeah. And she's by herself. I miss a lot of shots here, but I get her right now. That's an extra 200 damage. So just like that, I have 10 kills, which is not a lot. Certainly no way for me to get a 20 bomb this game. But again, you don't have to worry about kills or even catching a dub if you're trying to drop that 4,000 damage. All you need to be concerned with, obviously, is doing damage. And I know that may sound funny that I have to simplify it like that, but that's really all that is about, dropping damage. If you can just focus on that, and that can be difficult because in a battle royale where there are so many things to focus on, which is why it's so difficult for a lot of people. If you can just focus on one thing at a time, your mission is to drop a 4K, so just work on doing things that'll help contribute to dropping more damage to help you get and unlock that 4K damage badge. 4 squads left, question mark. So, you know, there aren't 12, excuse me, what am I in trios? Yeah, so there aren't 12 people alive. There's probably like 9 people or less alive. Both my teammates are missing. I wasn't able to craft bandage here, only because I didn't have any crafting material, but I did try. So there are 2 squads alive other than myself. I have 10 kills with 2,700 damage. I need about 1,300 damage more to go to drop this 4K badge. With my experience, I know that this is very doable. But for a lot of you guys, this is where you guys may start to struggle a little bit. You're at the end game. You have 2,000 plus damage. You're in a position to get that 4K, but somehow, for whatever reason, you just, it seems to slip away from you every single time. And it almost does for me here as well. So you'll see, especially as a solo queuer, I do not have teammates to depend on at all, or even to use as bait, right? Oh, mind you, this was my first game of the day, by the way. So if my shots are looking kind of iffy, that's going to be why. This is my first game on. Show me some love, baby. Tell me you love me in the comments. So I walk up on this Bloodhound who's an absolute AI. I do a lot of damage off of him, but I don't want to kill him. Now we're going to the farming method on how to farm a 4,000 damage badge in Season 18, okay? Listen up, because I will be pausing the video a lot. I could have easily continued to chow that Bloodhound right there because he is very weak with blue armor and something that you guys have to start becoming more aware of. Look at his playstyle. I'm walking up to him. You have footstep audio. He didn't shoot a single bullet my way and didn't even turn my way at all. That tells me that this is a lower skill player, and I could have easily rushed this to get that kill, excuse me, and to get that thirst. But I want to maximize the amount of damage potential I have in this game. So I don't want to kill him just yet. So instead, I just farm, damage, do a lot of damage, and I back up. I get a new angle to see what's going on. You'll see that he's using PK disruptor rounds at long range against me. And at this moment, his teammates are now full swinging me. And this is not too good for me at all in this position. Notice how I'm not looking back. I'm creating more space between me and the enemy so that I can heal up and re-engage. 3 R's. Recess. Retreat, reassess, re-engage. Look how I did that so perfectly right there. And so now, as a solo queuer, I have 6 people in front of me all fighting each other. They're doing massive amounts of damage while I'm missing every single bullet, and that squad wipes them. I did not get as much damage as I would have liked to have in this engagement between the 2 enemy teams. So now I have to farm 1100 damage off this last team alone. Still very doable. I'm playing a legend like Loba, so I have a lot of movement potential, and I have a lot of loot potential no matter what, which is why she is the best legend, not only just for solo queuing, but for dropping high kill, high damage games. You never run out of loot. And obviously for any other legend, if you're trying to farm enemies like this, you're going to run out of loot eventually. So I get to play extremely safe with Loba. I don't have to go and kill them and thirst them to try to loot their bodies or frantically loot throughout the map to try to find more ammunition. I could just simply play my position of high ground and get loot as I need it. So this whole team is aping me. I do some pretty good damage to that horizon right here, and I hear somebody else walking up. My Volt's not reloaded though, and they're all triple swinging me now. And I know that in order to get this 4K, I need to put myself in the most winningest position. So where is that most winningest position going to be? Always high ground. But I don't like the high ground that I'm on right now because there's 2 staircases that they could easily walk up on. Plus they have a horizon. So I take the ultimate height here. And this is why I say for a lot of you guys that have struggled to get 4,000 damage, you need to get better with your long distance damage. Your long distance shots rather. Why is that? Because it creates the most distance between you and the enemy team. It puts you in the ultimate position so that you can get a bird's eye view on everybody. And as you can see that Bloodhound trying to push me, I can keep him away, do damage like that, and force him to retreat and continue to heal up. So I have a lot of cushion when it comes to farming damage. I don't want to be on low ground farming damage right now with this entire 3-stack, especially with the way that they're playing. They're all holding each other's hands. They're not individually pushing me. They're all very scared. There's probably $1 million on the line for this game for them. You'll see what I mean as this fight goes on. So after that little engagement, I got a couple hundred extra damage, and now I need only less than 800 damage left. But you'll see this team is not peeking me at all. So this 800 damage comes rather difficult for even me as well. So I get why a lot of you guys can struggle. But you have to, maintain your composure and just think a little bit. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm looking for any openings. I'm doing recon, information gathering as to the whereabouts of each enemy teammate and their position as to where they're at. So now I've successfully located all 3 of them. So I'm just kind of jiggle peeking, trying to do any damage I can. As I said, they do not push me at all. I end up eventually having to push them. And this is working. It's scary for a lot of you guys, but look at all that damage I do from afar. That's about 70 plus meters out. That can be difficult for a lot of people. That's why I always recommend an AR or a SMG of your choice. If you like the marksmans, maybe a 30-30 or a G7 is a little bit more comfortable for you. Whatever your preference is, but you need that long range and you need that close range no matter what. Don't run double ARs. Don't run double SMGs. You can drop 4Ks doing that, but again, if you've never dropped one, I'm trying to give you the secret sauce as to how to increase your average damage per game so that you can eventually drop one. Now I only need 500 damage left. Round 5 coming in. Again, none of them attempted to push me at all, and they're not really peeking in the wide open. They're playing very passively, and that was very frustrating for me as well, especially my first game on. That's nothing to worry about though. Although it's annoying, I'm still holding my position because I'm safe up here no matter what. They cannot horizon queue up to me. The only way that they can get to me is up the zip line. And if they were to do that, that's an easy 1 clip and I'd be able to do damage in that regard. And so that's probably why they didn't attempt to push me anyways. But again, when you're farming damage, look how patient you have to be. And again, start practicing your long distance shots. That's what's going to help get you that 4,000 damage easily as well. A lot of the times, if I ended up winning this game, like I said, I didn't win this game, but if I did win this game and it went the way that I wanted it to go, I would have had somebody at this point challenge me. I would have killed him and thirsted him and take the 1v2. I wouldn't want to keep doing what I'm doing right now, which is farming. I want to, if you would like to win the game in addition to dropping that 4,000 damage badge, then the best way to do it, if given the correct scenario, is to start eliminating them one by one once you become sort of close to that 4,000 damage. So I'm at 3,600 right now. Again, if they would push me at all whatsoever, I would have killed one, thirsted, worked the 1v2. At that point, I pretty much have a 4k damage already. So on and so forth. One clip one. I was going to brace it on him right there, challenge him, but I didn't see the teammate says right. So, I had to throw a last minute bracelet. I have 3,700 damage, a lot of missed shots right here. But even though I'm missing, I'm still doing some damage. And that's what ultimately gets me the 4k damage right here. I didn't even know I got it. My chat had to tell me I got it. I was so angry at the outcome of this game and how this team was playing. But you see how with all the damage that I farmed at the end of this game, I was able to farm about 1,200 damage on one team alone. This is me intentionally farming, but also this team's playstyle is disgusting. They didn't give any openings for me. I'm just a solo. At any moment, they all could have just triple swung me and killed me. But again, $1 million must have been on the line. I missed a lot of shots right here. I end up dying. I almost get this bat off too, though, I believe. Yeah, I was pretty close to the bat. And you can see my reaction right there. The game was frustrating. But notice how, despite the outcome of that game, playing the way that I played, I was able to get that 4,000 damage, which for you guys, that should be the only thing that matters. You can focus on the wins and the kills later, but for right now, for this video, this is how you drop a 4k damage badge in Season 18 of Apex. I hope you learned something. If you have, please leave a like and comment, and make sure you hit that sub button, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace out. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam.